Okay. We'll just jump right in because this is second time. Hopefully, more of a charm than the first time was. Anyway, good morning. Part two. Let me turn this down so we can hear ourselves think a little bit. Yeah, so what happened was all of the stuff was screwed up, so I cut it, and so don't watch the other one. Um, Today, this one is going to be a quick review about how to separate the ideas of themes and topic sentences and titles and all that stuff, because my students are a little bit confused. But so I want to get into that, and let's make sure we're on the right page here, and making sure you can narrow this. The second video is going to be more about narrowing down once you have an overall topic, an idea of what you want to do. The second video is going to be more about narrowing down what you want to use and how to find something that's doable and workable for the limited time that you have to, one, limited time that you have to write, and two, the limited time that you have, or limited space, number of words that you have to finish your idea that you want to put on paper, that you have to put on paper, that you want to put on paper. So, for anybody who's not in my current class, feel free to follow along, watch. Hopefully, you'll get a couple of ideas about how to get some of the writing stuff done that you need for your own writing endeavors. Right. So, let's first talk about the first talk about the program that I'm going to use. This is called Poplin. I'm using Poplin Lite because I like it. It's a good program. And it helps organize thoughts. It's basically a brainstorming piece of brainstorming software. Let me get it up on the screen for you. And that way we can work on this together. All right, I got the air server up. Now I need to go over to the streaming software, and I need to automate this so that I don't have to worry about this every time. All right, so this is Poplin. The great thing about Poplin is, let's get rid of this one. Delete Poplin. You just double tap, and it puts a new thing in. And then let's focus on the cause and effect essay, right? So this semester we have to do two essays. One is argument, the other is cause and effect. Now, with a cause and effect essay, you're going to look at something. Let's attach this. That has a cause, and then that results in some sort of effect or multiple effects. Effect 2. Oops. Effect 3, right? Or you're going to end up with let's not connect that. Right? All right. So you're going to end up with multiple effects or in effect that comes from, let's try that again. Let's spell. So, in a situation like this one, you have three things that happen, and then you get some effect that comes out of it. If all three things don't happen, then the effect doesn't happen. Think about cooking, right? So if you're, because I made sausage and biscuits yesterday, it was awesome. First time, second time. First time I screwed up. I have my flour, and then I have my. Well, let's add this in, because why wouldn't you? You have your flour, and then you have your baking powder, and then you have your. Okay, so this is multiple causes. I'm going to go for baking soda. And then you have over here, let's attach it to that, cause 4 salt, right? So if you're making biscuits, you need to double check your recipe, because some recipes use all of these things and some recipes don't use this one, right? If you, for example, in my case, substitute salt with baking soda, then your biscuits don't taste right, because that is not appropriate. You need some salt in there. And the butter that I used was salted, but so if this is the proper recipe, but you do this one instead, your biscuits aren't going to taste right, because the three things that cause this effect of deliciousness didn't work, because this isn't the right configuration of what we got over here, right? But, or it isn't the proper thing. So you can use baking soda and baking powder, particularly if you don't have, let's get rid of that. Particularly if you don't have the proper proportions in it. So you want a bunch of flour, you want a little baking powder, a very little baking soda, because they do work together to make self-rising dough. And if you have too much baking soda, then it doesn't taste right and stuff like that. So if you have self-rising dough or flour, then it doesn't matter. But I can't find that in Japan, or I don't know how to read it. So there's that. So you need all of these things, and sometimes you don't need this one, to make good biscuits. So these are different causes, and the effect is delicious biscuits, right? So if you want delicious biscuits, you need to have, as the effect, as the result, you need to have all of these things in the proper order. Now, there's the other type of cause-effect essay, where you have a single cause, but it has multiple effects. So, for example, if I take my coffee cup, and I am not going to do this, if I take my coffee cup and smack it, that's the cause. The effect is I have coffee all over the place, and I have to clean it up, right? And probably my mug is going to be broken, and it's got my face on it, so that's no good, right? So if you're doing a cause and effect essay, you need to think about what topic it is that you're doing. Can I select multiple of these? Nope. All right. You need to decide what it is that you're going to do as far as cause and effect. And I would highly recommend you take a few minutes. And this is what a lot of writing teachers call pre-writing. And do this so that you can think out what you want to do. I want to do cause. Cause for us, let's say social networks, right? Let's say Twitter. If I can spell it. Twitter use in teens, right? So Twitter use in teens, what kind of effects does that have? Could be positive effects, could be negative effects. Positive effect is instant news. Other effect is unreliable news. Third effect could let's see what I need a word, and nobody's you can't help me. I need a word. Enhance. Let's use enhanced. That's fine. Depression. Wow, let's spell a little bit, just a little. There we go. All right, so for example, your cause and effect essay is going to be about Twitter use in teens. So one good effect is they can get instant news. One bad effect is possibly that news is unreliable. And the third effect is by reading too much about what's going on and not knowing if the news is reliable or not, or how it affects that person individually, it could enhance someone's depression and make them sadder than they would ordinarily be, right? So this is a possibility. Now, notice, this is not just social networking services, right? It's very specific. Twitter use in teens, and we can get even more in Japan, even more specific in Osaka. And what I'm going to tell you is the more specific you are with your theme or your topic, the easier it will be to write, because you will be able to focus more in on what the exact details that you want. And for the classes that I'm teaching, the number of words that you get to use for the essay is pretty limited, and like it's basically 2, maybe 3 pages. And so being able to do a cause and effect essay, you really need to be able to focus very tightly on what you want to talk about. So things like, let's clear all. So let's do possible essay topics, right? So climate change, okay. School uniform. Diet. Okay. Now, so we have 3 possibilities. We got 3 things that we want to talk about. Now, if I want to decide out of these 3 things what I want to do, personally, climate change in school uniforms for this kind of essay is a little bit boring, because in Japanese schools they talk about climate change and school uniforms basically since they start English. It's a pretty universal topic, and so you see it a lot, and a lot of the ideas in what you see aren't very unique, aren't very interesting. So if you want to talk about climate change, that's fine, but we need to talk about climate change much more specifically, because you can't talk about global climate change in any reasonable way in 2 pages. Basically, it'll take you 2 pages to say, yep, climate change, right? Or school uniforms, or even diet. So these topics are okay, but they're too big. So diet, let's focus the diet a little bit, and let's talk about carbohydrates. Let's talk about vegetarianism. Okay. And what other diet? Sugar. Right? All right. So even carbs or vegetarianism or sugar, these are still too big. So if we make it more, I guess we can do it this way and give each of these a way to narrow it down in Japan for university students who live alone. Wow, let's I can write, really. Ugh, killing me. Come on. There. Whew. Live alone. Live and alone. The keys are on the other side, and I don't want to open it up. All right. So now, if you look at any of these big, huge topics, this filter allows you to really be specific about who you're talking about. And in 2 pages, you can probably write something about this. So in Japan, for university students who live by themselves, that really narrows the field. You're not talking about all vegetarianism. You're not talking about all detriments for sugar. You're talking about how it affects this particular group of people. So if you have a big idea like diet or climate change or school uniform, right? Focus on a group of people, a demographic, age, location, and lifestyle, depending on what it is that you want to do, and really focus it in that way. But so these, I mean, it's okay. I want you to write about something that means something to you, not that you think I want to read. So if you're really interested in climate change, great, that's fine. But really, you need to come up with some ideas to narrow it down. So let's look at I think this something that's more important to be personal, right? Exercise. Wow, I totally can't spell today. Must be the morning. Exercise. Whoa. There we go. Exercise. So, let's see. For exercise, let's go. So, what are some topics in exercise? Cardio. So, when you're breathing heavy, right? So, aerobic, anaerobic. Running and stuff like that. For endurance, muscle. So to build muscle, well, let's actually make that specifically build muscle. Building muscle. Let's see. Tone. So building muscle tone. So like really sculpting particular muscles. And what's one other branch for exercise? Oh, weight loss. Right. So let's look at these 4 reasons, 4 ways to look at exercise. You can look at just cardio, running, or doing aerobic exercises like that. Building muscle, you want to get big and strong. Tone. Oh, why did that turn off? You can't see it. This one. Yeah. All right. Where was I? So cardio, building muscle to get big and strong. Tone, to refine the muscles that you have. And then weight loss, just to generally lose weight, so improve general health. So then, your main topic is exercise. Let's go with building muscle. And then who are we talking about? Let's say, again, because it's easy to talk about where you are in Japan. Okay, that narrows down the group of people. University, yeah. I always misspell that way. Come on. University students, right? And who live, well, let's split that. Let's split that out. So we're going to write our essay about people in Japan who are university students, and then at this point we can split it up into two things. Live alone, and live with family, right? So depending on how long the essay is, you can either talk about only living alone, or you talk about people who live with their family, or university students who are living with their families. But either way, you have a location. They're in Japan. They are university students, so you have an age range. And you're able to really focus in on that experience. Now, for my students, this is their experience. This is that group of people. They're writing basically about themselves or about their classmates. So it'll be easier to get information to put into the essay. And so that's the right way to go. Now, the main idea for choosing the topic, whether it's cause and effect or argument. So cause and effect would be students who don't exercise have this outcome. Students who do exercise have this outcome. But it's not students should exercise, right? So students who exercise more are happier. Something like that, right? So for cause and effect, that's one of the things that we're looking for. I keep looking over this way because it looks like I'm looking at the thing, but I'm looking at the thing. Hey. All right. So that would be the way you set up your topic for either cause and effect or argument, because with an argument essay, you're going to make a statement and then you're going to try to prove to me your statement is correct or that statement is false. Okay? Awesome. So the cause and effect, the cause is more exercise. The effect on people who live with family is going to be, that's going to be your choice. So we don't know. You tell us, right? So like I said, I want to keep this one fairly short. I want to, because I'm going to do another one on, once you have your topic, how to start laying out what you want to do. Because I want to try to avoid straight up 5-paragraph essays, because those are boring. Nobody writes those at all, ever, except in school where you practice writing essays. So I guess if you gotta, but this is not that necessarily. All right. So grab Poplin. It's available on iOS and Android. It's free. There's a free version. There's also a paid version that gives you a couple more things you can do. And you can also multi-select Poplin. Oh, that's good. That's awesome. Okay. But you can do there's pictures and all kinds of stuff that you can add to it. So it's a pretty good program. You can add pictures. And I believe they have, well, you can change colors so you can organize stuff, which we'll talk about in the next video, about how to set up before you start to write and do an outline. There is also, let's write blue, hi, right? So you can also write, oh, right, you can see, so you can see, you can put stuff in here and have it all prettified and stuff. And there are you can use any of the emoji stuff that you want to use. So if you want to have a castle, right, you can use that instead of writing out the words and things like that. So, you know, it's all good. And it gives you a little bit of text support as well, right? Back to English. So that's Poplin, and that's how to use it for trying to decide what your topic is going to be. For a cause and effect essay, it's best to write the topic as kind of a topic sentence, or the theme is kind of a topic sentence. Students who exercise students benefit from exercise by being happier, right? Or whatever, however you want to phrase it. Something, give me an idea of what you're going to do. The argument should be a statement. It should be like the topic sentence, but it is not the topic sentence. It's a topic sentence for the thing. It's a theme. It's the theme. It's a topic sentence. For an argument, let's stick with the exercise idea. Exercise is beneficial to university students of any age, of any health level, right? Something. So even if you have bad health, you can exercise and it'll improve your health level. So the argument is going to be a statement. This is the statement that I'm going to try to prove to you, okay? So try to get your head around that, and y'all have a good one. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about outlining. And again, we're going to use my Poplin. You can use whatever program you want. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So y'all have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye. Bye. Bye.